It is the host now.
There was an disconnection actually. My internet went off. This is exactly what I was fearing.
Don't
Hey,
fear.
Faisal, welcome back.
Nothing to fear.
So I'll share my screen once again. Yes. Fine. The last lesson. Am I audible now, all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
May I have Jatin, sir?
Yeah.
There's
I
a
can
question
hear you,
for
ma'am.
you, sir. I just said this chapter or the story is written by the author called Alphonse Diot. Please, will you like to pronounce it? It's a French name. Alphonse Diot.
Alphonse Diont.
Very good.
Diot.
बहुत बढ़िया, sir जी. Alphonse Diot. It's a French name, and he was a French novelist and a short story writer. Initially, he was a school teacher, but then later on, he took up journalism for his living. Then another important word, all of you listen to this carefully. This is Liu Amuhos. Liu Amuhos. This is the name of his book, which consists of collection of poems. His poems are collected in the book called Liu Amuhos. All right. With that, we move on to the next slide. Theme of as I was telling you a little earlier, that whenever we are doing a story, it's extremely important that we know what is the theme or what message is being conveyed through the story or through the prose. Here, in this, through the story, the poet is trying to depict, the author is trying to depict the importance of one's mother tongue. How important a person's mother tongue is to him or her. It highlights the pain that is inflicted on the people of a territory by its conquerors when the right to study or even to speak their own language is taken away. All right. It also focuses on linguistic chauvinism. So what is linguistic chauvinism? Please, linguistic chauvinism. It's a very important word. Will anyone like to give their views on linguistic chauvinism? Anyone? Yes?
Ma'am, aren't we experiencing it all the time? When you have signboards to be put in regional languages?
Very good, Mala ma'am. Thank you for that. We do experience it, if not every day, but quite often. Okay, and
Yes.
I will not, go on to a further discussion right here. But yes, it's a very important. Linguistic chauvinism is a very important topic which can be asked for an article writing or for speech. So students, please be careful with this word, linguistic chauvinism. Now I'll just tell you the meaning of the word. It refers to, or it talks about the unreasonable belief of a person that his language is the best. He holds, false prejudices about other people's languages because he feels his one is the best. His language is the best. As a result, he fails to pay due respect to other people's language. All right? It could be a very hot topic for discussion. We'll take it later on, not right away. All right?
Absolutely.
And then, as I've told you, we'll talk about it later. So this is, see, even in this chapter, the people or the characters, until, they realize the importance of their language only after the right to speak their language is taken away from them, right? It happens to us also. We take many things for granted. Yes, ma'am?
Who's this? Jaita says invite me, and there is who's Pura invite me. Whose number is that?
I think Jatin sir.
No, I am already here.
Purabhi Supriya.
I am here, ma'am.
I'm admitting them. I hope
Purabhi Supriya. So Purab, please invite me. Wi-Fi issue. Invite me once again. Jaita also invite.
I have invited them once again, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
Deepthi, you need to click the presentation mode next to 74%. You just click that so that we will get the big screen.
There is a reason why I did not do it, because there's some problem with the full screen. I'm not able to move to the next slide. There's some problem with it. That's the reason why.
Press enter. Press enter.
Arrow key.
Press enter.
If not, it can be arrow key as well.
No, that's what I'm saying. With the arrow key, it's taking a lot of time to move on to the next slide.
What about enter? What about enter? If you press enter.
You still want me to put it on the full screen?
Later, let her do. Now you continue with the flow.
All right. All right. So even in the story, we will see that the people, they, later on they regret because they have been neglecting their mother tongue for a long time. And now when the ban on their language is inflicted on them, that is when they start realizing the importance of their language. So students, take a minute to pause and think, how important is your language to you? Are you doing justice to your language? Are you taking care of your language? So that's food for thought. Think about it, and we'll take up again this topic later on while we discuss the chapter in details. Moving on to the next slide. Yes. See, this story was set during, again, mark my words, when I say this story was set, I'm talking about the setting of the story. All right? So this story was set during Franco-German War. Franco-German War is also known as Franco-Prussian War, and it took place from July 19, 1870 to May 10, 1871. And as a result of this war, or in this war, German states, they united with Prussia and defeated France. France, which had been a dominant power in Europe for a long time, all of a sudden, their dominance, their hegemony came to an end. Please underline the word hegemony. Underline the word hegemony. The word hegemony means dominance. All right? The word hegemony means dominance. Okay? So the dominance of French reign had come to an end after Franco-German War. Now, where there is a war, there must be a cause to the war. What are the various causes that led to the war? Now, see, as I've told you already, that until 1866, France was a dominant power in Europe. But after Prussia defeated Austria and the German states came under his control, Prussia posed a threat to France's position. As usual, France wanted to secure its position, and they felt probably war could be one of the options. However, that's not the immediate cause or reason for the war. There's another reason for the war, and that was the immediate cause, and that is candidacy of Prince Leopold. Now, Queen Isabel II, she was disposed from his throne in 1868, and after that, Prussian Chancellor Bismarck and Spanish de facto leader John Prim, they tried to persuade Leopold to take over the throne. And initially Leopold agreed also. But then, as a result of this, France realized that it was a potential threat to their powers. They couldn't let this happen. Later, what happened? Yes. Later, what happened, though Leopold has withdrawn his candidacy, but still the ambassadors of France, they met William I, Persian king. William I was the Persian king. They met him, and in the meeting, they tried to convince William I to agree to the fact that he would not further renew the candidacy of Leopold. Now, to this, William King did not agree to them, but then he was very polite. He refused to their demand very politely. And after the meeting had taken place, he telegraphed the entire report to Bismarck. There's a very you must have already heard about Bismarck in grade 10th history. He's a very prominent figure of world history. Now, what Bismarck did, he wanted to provoke France into war. All right, so what he did is, he kind of manipulated the report and published it in such a way that it seemed to be an insult to France. So French King Napoleon III, he was very infuriated. As a result, there was a sudden outbreak of war. I think we've talked a lot about war now. So I'll give a pause. See, I will be sharing certain videos as well as links with you so that it gives you more clarity about Franco-Prussian War. All right. So these are the reasons which led to the war. And in the war, as I've already told you, France was defeated. And as a consequence of this, a ban on their mother tongue was imposed. All right. Now, this is a picture of Otto von Bismarck. He was a Prussian chancellor. I think you all be aware of him. Now, moving on to the next slide. The maroon color shows your North German Confederation. The mustard yellow shows Southern German states. But our main focus would be the tanned area. And the place is called Alsace-Lorraine. Shriparna, may I hear that from you? Alsace-Lorraine.
Alsace-Lorraine.
Very good. 10 on 10. Okay. Let's move on. So our story, the last lesson, is set in Alsace-Lorraine. I hope you understood the significance of the place. Our story is set in Alsace-Lorraine. Now, moving on to the best part. I really find relief when I have to describe or talk about a story. All right. So I will just brief you the story. I'll just say you the summary. In our next class, we will take the chapter in detail, wherein I'll explain all important lines and give you annotations wherever required. Okay. As the story opens, we will find a boy. His name is Franz. He's a school boy. So we see that little Franz, he is late for his school. And therefore he's rushing to... Yes, any questions? Okay. He's rushing to his school. As he is rushing to his school, he finds that there's a crowd at the town hall. Now, town hall is a place where notices are put in the notice board and all the important announcements are made here. So for a second, he wondered what would be the new news because he found a crowd there. But then since he was very late, he felt that it's better that I rush to my school. After he reached school, he was quite puzzled. Why? Because although he was, for the first time, he found that the school and the classrooms were unusually calm. On top of it, he found many villagers were seated in the classroom. He was a little shocked and surprised at the same time. He was even more surprised because M. Hamel, who was his French teacher, I repeat, M. Hamel, characterization, please remember that word. M. Hamel, who was their French teacher, contrary to his behavior on other days, he was very polite. And he was late, but still he was welcomed very, in a very nice way. So that puzzled him. And then came the shock. Mr. M. Hamel declared that it was their last lesson. It was their last lesson. Now, teaching of French was banned in all the districts of Alsace-Lorraine, so he could not continue with the teaching of France, and therefore he had to resign. When Franz came to know about this, all of a sudden he undergoes a sudden change in his views. His views about his teacher, who apparently was very strict all this time, had changed. His views about his language had changed. And then towards the end of the story, we will find that Hamel highlights the importance of French language. And he laments because he, along with other villagers and other people of this country, had neglected their mother tongue. Finally, he delivers his speech or his last lesson, and as he was doing it, he was totally choked. And at the end of the story, he writes on the board, "Vive la France." Please pronounce it as "Vive la France." All right, it means long live France. All right, long live France. Our story ends here. We will do it in detail in our next class. But before we end, I would like all of you to go through this video. This is a kind of synopsis to the entire lesson. Hope you enjoy it, and I hope I haven't put you to sleep.
No, not at all.
Yes,
Long
let's
live
watch
history.
this.
Metro Golden Hour.
This is the little boy Franz.
Why aren't you in school, you little imp?
Oh, I'm too big to go to school. Besides, I don't know my lesson. Is there more bad news?
You'll find out soon enough. Now run along to school.
But Victor,
Never mind. Today you better be in school. There, you're late already. Now run. Run.
Their French teacher.
Go to your seat quickly, Francois. We were beginning without you.
what's the matter with him today?
Come in, Victor. I thought today you wouldn't mind if others have come before you. My children, this is the last lesson I shall give you. The order has come from Berlin that we are no longer to be French. After today, only German is to be taught in our schools. The German master is on his way here. And when he arrives, I shall leave you. This is the last lesson in our own language. I want you all to be very attentive. The first form will begin with their letters. Ready? Aber.
Aba, over, ibi, obo, ube, ama, ome, ili, omo.
Excellent.
Will they make them sing in German? Even the pigeons?
Let us go to the lesson on participles and infinitives. Francois. The rule for the participle.
when the present participle follows the verb
To be.
to be. When the present participle follows the verb to be, it is
Shall I interrupt, Dipti?
Yes, ma'am. That's it. With this, we will after.
It a good.
Yeah, because 2:40 is Jaita's time, right?
No problem. So
It's
I
nice.
think
It's
this
very
is.
interesting. This will go on. Is it okay with everyone?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes,
Ma'am, but
ma'am.
video was lagging
We
for
will
me.
continue for another 5 to 6 minutes.
Okay. So, pardon?
So we can stop, I think so, ma'am.
Because Jaita,
Yes, ma'am.
you can hear? You're in, right? Finally, she let you in.
Start 2:40. Me.
Yeah, yeah.
Ma'am, can you
Anyway,
hear me?
yes.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
So
Because
shall
we
I?
have,
Then Jaita
we have to
needs
leave
to.
the meeting.
Sorry, Dipti
Join
needs
her.
to log out then.
Yeah, I'll end the meeting, ma'am. Wait.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much. Well done. Very
Thank
nice.
you, ma'am. Thank you. Super.
Good job,
Perfect.
Deepthi.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Super.